This morning's session is all about capturing in the GL, and then of course quickly talking about the inquiries, what kind of reports we can run and all of that. Now, most of you by this stage should know how to capture stuff in the GL, so I'm going to assume you know. I'm not going to show you how we import bank statements and journals and all those lovely stuff we get from the auditors. That's in another session. It's sometime next week. We'll send you out a love letter a bit later this afternoon to tell you when exactly that's going to happen. But today what I'm going to show you is normal capturing and the shortcut keys. So if you find it a little bit boring, it's okay. You can sleep. Just don't snore. Okay, if you snore, just mute yourself. Okay, right, let's get cracking. Now, as you know, in the GL, everything you do becomes a transaction. All right, so if you want to physically capture any of those amounts or anything like that, it is a transaction, and yours will look a bit different to mine. Oops, sorry about that. Depending, of course, on the number of cash books you have, what you have activated, whether you have full win main or light win main, this is going to work exactly the same. Today, I'm not focusing on whether you're a light person or a full person or a this person or that person. We've moved past that point. We all know now, or you all know where you are. You know what win main full can do if you joined me on all those sessions, and you also know what your light was doing. So today is basically only GL. If I do talk about a cash book and entering into a cash book or something like that, don't stress if you're on full win main. It's exactly the same thing, whether it's a cash book, a journal that we're going to process, a petty cash journal, a salary journal, whatever it might be. Okay. The main thing that you all should have noticed by now is some of your transactions can be edited and some of them will be grayed out and it'll stop you from anything. Now, generally, those things are called a WTM win main batch, and you can see under transaction, I have it here. I did share my screen, yes. And immediately, oops, that was so fast. Let me show you again. I'm just going to pause it. Pause. There we go. Finger one. Good. The win main batch will always at the very top tell you that this is a view only kind of batch. Why? Because of data integrity, everything that you've captured in the invoicing module as well as your main module, whether it's full or light, will come through in here, and it'll give you totals for creditors if your creditors is in the GL or whatever it is. But this is basically where it will formulate your TB. So this is updating your TB balances in here, and if it says editing is blocked, there's a very good reason. Okay. We obviously don't want people to come in here and go and change anything that came from invoicing in main module. We need to keep that integrity cool. We need to keep it fine. That being said, nothing stops you from still playing. It sounds stupid now, but playing in the actual batch. So if you want to sort the transactions instead of the normal control account lines that came through from the control account, if let's say you want to sort it by amount, please keep in mind, and this is for every single transaction batch you have, guys. So anything under transactions can do this. Okay. If you want to sort by amount, you're going to double click on that heading and immediately the system will sort it for you by amount. Okay. In ascending order. Right. If you don't like the order in which it appears, remember that you can also you should be able to drag and drop. I'm hearing lots of my computer noises. If it's making too much noise in your ears, guys, shout, then I can disable it. All right, so you can see we can drag and drop and move into whatever order we want. Now, very important at the top, whenever you are on a specific line, and I've got this particular line highlighted, the system will tell me if my reference actually has a balance. And you can see here, this reference is 932, and it says to me, oh dear, Deirdre, we have a balance of 52 cents. So if this was a journal, I would be freaking out right now, because of course journals should have a total of 0. The next thing that the system also does is gives you a month total in this case October 2019 was 0, and then very important, a batch total. Now what I'm trying to tell you is in WTM, when it's a view only, you should always have a batch total and a month total of 0. It's very, very important, okay? If you don't, something has gone haywire and you will have to phone Quick Software. Now, I think I'm done with the WTM batch, so let me go and play with stuff that I know I did lots on. All right, I'm going to go play in the journal batch. Now, in my normal journal batch, I will have many lines in here. I will have many kinds of reference numbers in here. And to capture, I'm going to quickly show you. You probably already know this, but in case you didn't, I'm just going to quickly show you. You enter your period. And of course, keep in mind that you cannot go and date something in July if your year end. I'm in the wrong person's data. I better get out here. Guys, sorry, I was playing in the wrong data here. Give me a seckie. Sorry about that. I was quite sure I was in demo data. Let's open up demo. Sorry about that. I was actually looking for something early on. Okay, mine's measly. Look, I didn't work hard, did I? And now all my standard batches and everything is gone. I'm going to cry. Just want to quickly import. Guys, you're going to see this in the next session, but I just want to quickly import all my hard work that I did in the wrong GL. Go back. Can't believe I did it in the wrong one. It's been a long week. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but I'm like totally dead. I'm dead in my shoes. I shouldn't actually be here. I think I should be on a nice island holiday. It should be Friday. Thank you, Stace. It's been a long week. I don't know. As I said, my energy is gone. Guys, yeah, I think this past few months has taken its toll on all of us, eh? Not just me. In case you're wondering what I'm doing right now, I'm literally creating a Excel journal. I'm actually creating a journal in Excel, and I will show you this next week. So if I'm going fast, don't stress about trying to keep an eye on what it is. I will show this to you nice and slow next week. My big thing right now is I just need to get this data into where I am supposed to have it. And I'm sorry I didn't. Okie dokes, let's try and see this again. Try number 555. I was so sure I did all my hard work and then, oh, I'm in 2021. Let's try and see if previous year is going to be nicer. Demo travel, Windman light. That should be the oak. Guys, I did this like months ago. That's why I'm like, why is my stuff not looking the way it should be? Oh no, this one looks, I feel very ill prepared. Why? Sorry. I think that might be my, can you see how many gels we have? We have dummy of dummies of dummies of dummies. There we go. This looks good. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for, a batch title. Okay, now you will in your, sorry about that, everybody, I do apologize. In your batches, you will have to go and capture. Now to capture, you're going to click on new, or you can just click on insert. It'll do the same thing. You're going to capture your date that you want to do this in, keeping in mind, as I said at the very top, that you can only do it up to the end of that particular period. So if I was looking to do anything in March, I would have to open up the 21 year. All right, and I am actually going to show you today, although it's not an inquiry, how to run a provisional year end. And we'll talk a bit about what's the difference between a provisional year end and a final year end, why you should do those kind of things. Is it necessary? Should I freak out? The short answer immediately is no, please don't freak out. Provisional year ends is cool, it's your friend, and it does a heck of a lot of stuff for you. All right, so we have our period, we have our day. We're going to enter our account number. Now again, if you don't know those account numbers, oops, sorry, If you don't know those account numbers, you can just start typing in the name and the system will bring a drop down for you. Now, as you can see, I'm at the very end of my journal and it looks a bit squished here at the bottom. I'm not a great fan of it here at the bottom because I can never see, and then I'm like, oh my word, I have to check in that thing, and it makes me, well, I don't like it. It irritates me. Please keep in mind, can you see this little computer box here that looks like a desktop? If you click that, it'll actually open up your chart of accounts for you on the right-hand side. Please don't be scared to work in multiple windows in the same program, okay? Especially in GL when you need to get that chart of accounts open and you need to, at a quick glance, if you can't get that drop-down thingy there because you don't know the number, rather have your chart of accounts open on the right-hand side. And again, remember, sorting by name will allow me to have it in alphabetical order. So if I can't remember what my commission received account was, okay, I can quite simply here, whilst my chart of accounts is open, go and have a look. All right, I have some commission received. I've got a override and a quick drive, okay? So this time it is actually my commission received for overrides. There's my code, 050003. So did I choose the right account? No, this is an override. I need to go and change it. Right. Simply change the code and you can see chart of accounts is still open on the right hand side. Leave it there. It's nice and handy. You can quickly go and check it if you don't know the codes. A lot of you probably already know the codes off by heart of your TB. If you don't need it, then obviously don't open it up. Please, guys, give it a reference. Now, our system is quite cool that if you give it a reference that only consists of numerics, like I've got here, I'll show you on the next line how you can increment and all of those stuff. So here we're going to say override, and I have, let's say I belong to Harvey World, override, and it was a total of 20,000 Rand. Okay. Now, as with journals, as with anything, please remember that you do need to go and put an opposite entry in. Your journal should always go back to 0. So I had this originally in 999 because I didn't know what it was on my bank side. So I'm going to quickly just correct this. Now, you don't have to type that whole thing up again. If you press your plus button on your keyboard, the system will copy it for you. Okay, so plus copies what is exactly above it. And then also, if you don't know this, that if I want to make this 20,000 a debit, okay, I'm going to make it a minus. Now, how to make a debit? You use your forwards, your slash. You know that's top left, starts at the bottom left to top right. So your forward slashy will change your sign for you. Okay, I'm going to show you again. Let's plus that. We're just playing now. Okay, so I wanted that to be a debit. Without me having to type in 20,000, I can use my forward slash and immediately it does it for me. Nishan is saying, hi Dee, is that if we received override come from Harvey? Yes, but Nishan, when I captured my cash book, it didn't say Harvey World override. It had a 31212 reference. And I didn't know what a 31212 was all about. That's all it said on the bank statement. I didn't know who it was from. So when I captured my cash book entry was put to suspense because at that point in time, I'm sorry, I don't know who's at my gate. Let me just get rid of them. Sorry about that. Woo! I don't know. I'm not expecting somebody, but there's a courier here, so shame. Yeah, well, apparently somebody's delivering something. Sorry about that. If it's too noisy, just hoist something in chat or unmute and say, D, stop it, okay? So Nushan, yes, I originally put it in my cash book entry, whether it was in the main module, because I've got full win main, or in the GL, I came and captured it in here in my cash book. I put it to suspense because I didn't know what it was for. And I yeah, Nush, you're one step ahead. Let me just get my story straight quickly. Okay, so I didn't know where it was, and therefore I put it to suspense. I'm now just basically doing a journal. If there's anything with that, we'll get there right now. Give me a seckie. Okay. All right. Now, if I had VAT, and let's say this override should have been a 20,000 credit with VAT, okay, what I could do is I could quite simply, in the amount block, type in a 0 and just enter. The minute I hit 0 and enter, the system's going to say, hi there, please can I do a VAT split for you? And you can now say, is it 20,000 excluding? Or is it 20,000 including? Now, if it's including, you're going to just click on this nice button here at the bottom that says excluding, move it into including. And there you go. And what it'll do now, of course, is give you a VAT split. And you'll see it's now going to insert an extra line here to show the VAT. Okay. Very well done, Nushin. You were too fast for me. I was still trying to show my little story, and then you were right. There should be VAT. It's VATable. Yes, some things are VATable, some things are non-VATable. If you want to quickly discuss that, you realize then that stuff that's non-VATable is your service fees for international tickets. Everything else is VATable, hey? And they do charge us VAT. Our SARS people. Right, so now I've done this journal. I want to do another journal, okay, but I can choose any account now. Let's put rent for interest sake. Now, I don't want 111 to be my new next number. It now needs to move over on its own to 1112, okay? If I press my little star, you know, at my keypad, it's got a little star, your asterisk. If I press my star, my system will automatically increment to the next number, and it reads from above. So that's also kind of handy, especially if you're doing a whole lot of journals and you don't want to go and remember if it's 1112, 1113, whatever the case might be. All right. Rent and water and lights wouldn't be an adjustment, hey? Right, and here again, I want to put in amount. And my inclusive amount is 23,650. Oh, that's a big rent. You can't have that in COVID. Okay. Once you're done, you then can go and transfer it from wherever. Now, I don't know if you guys are doing accruals for these expenses. Do you have like a 820 account? I don't know if you guys do. I'm not going to teach you accounting today. Today is really just how to capture, so I'm going to keep on going on like that. Now, let's say you have been a very good dude. Okay, let me get rid of these two. Let's say you've been a very good dude. And now you've worked your butts off. And yes, man. And you know, you can see here, we really worked. There's 664 items, and it's like a journal doesn't get there by itself. You either imported it or you typed it in. Somewhere it was captured, okay? You get to the end of it and you have this stupid thing that says batch total 1650 in credit. And you're like, I normally used to go into a cry session and fits of absolute pain. The good thing is we have some handy stuff in here. Have you ever noticed this cute little batch tool button? Please tell me you have. If you haven't, I'm going to change your lives. The batch tools will allow you to go and look at your reference total so you can see exactly where that 1650 is. So by running your batch total, and it was a bit fast, so go down and say view reference totals. When you move down, you will go and find out exactly where your problem is. And it tells you your journal in question that is not balancing, reference number QSW-1012. And straight from here, you can say open. And what it'll do is it'll take you to that line so that immediately you can see this is the story and now I need to fix it. It is super handy, those batch tools. I can't reiterate it enough. All right, and now we can say, oh, shame, sorry, Travelport. Yeah, I'm just going to write you off. I like commission today. Apparently today is a good day for commissions. Once you're done, your batch total now goes to 0 and everything balances. All right. In the same breath, sometimes we capture stuff and we are certain we are right. And we're quite sure that the system didn't calculate these totals correctly. What you're going to do is you're going to go to your batch totals, and at the bottom, you've got recalculate the batch totals. And what it'll do is it'll just go and double check that all the debits and credits adds up and what your final batch total is. So sometimes something creeps in and it doesn't look right, but you've tried the batch tool, the references are all 0 and it's still saying batch total not 0. Please, under batch tools, use the recalculate batch total. Okay, it is really handy. It is super cool. I'm a huge fan of it. Right. Other nice stuff that we have is that if you don't like all these little lines in between and you want to get rid of them, you can tell the system to delete all the blank lines and it'll leave you with this journal. Okay. My personal preference is I like lines in between because I like to see where the reference starts and stops. It's just me, it's a creature of habit. You don't have to do it, but the batch tools will allow you to either delete the lines or then if you do want to have lines in between every unique reference to then go and insert a blank line in between each of them. And you can tell the system to start at a current row. So if I wasn't at the very top and I was maybe in line 500, the system will then start at 500. I'm just going to leave this blank. You can go and play with it. And now you can see it gives you little lines in between. It looks nice. It looks neat. And it's generally, for me, a quicker way of quickly seeing what happens. All right. Gentle reminder. Remember, if I want to sort by references, I can double click and the system will give me my references. All right. And don't be scared to use your page up and page down keys. You can use your down arrow. It's going to take you a while to get to the end of the page, whereas your page down will go and physically look, I think, at 25 odd lines every single time. Okay, now let me just go back. I'm going to go back into journals. Oopsie. Here we go. All right. So this is basically what your journals look like. I've just maximized it now. We have other nice stuff there. You can lock a record. So if you don't want people to see the information, you can basically put a security password on there. You can look at a status of a transaction. So let's see, I want to see what my status is on this TIC transaction. The system's just going to tell you who did it, when they last changed it, and if it is editable. Now remember that lock option that I spoke about that says lock record will lock it so that nobody can go and edit this transaction. So it's almost like a posting within the batch, although you haven't posted the batch. Okay, keep in mind if you do lock this transaction, only the person on the bottom right, that user number on the bottom right, will be able to unlock it. Okay, so there is some things in there. Right, now if you look at all these details in here, you can see that some of it is uppercase, some of it's propercase, some of it looks crappy, some of it looks kind of all right, and you're like, oh, okay, this looks messy. And if you're a little bit OCD like me, then you're going to be like, listen, I think I actually want this in a proper case. I don't like it the way it is, okay? If you want to do that, you can literally right-click, go back into your batch tools, and you can go into format text in the detail columns. Now, when you do that, the system is going to say, how do you want to see it? Do you want everything in full prop? So it's going to say, if it was everything in caps, like these are, and then lowercase my details, it will change it to capitals on every start of every word. If you want it all capitalized, then it'll only start with the first one. If you want it in uppercase, Guys, this is really for the OCD people, okay? Probably all of you are thinking, I'm never going to care what the hell who wrote and how they wrote it. If you're OCD like me, trust me, you want these format records, but you can then go and tell the system to put it in whatever it is. So I'm just going to say capitalized because I don't like it that it says First National Bank, quick software, da, 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 da. So I'm just going to say capitalized, and I'm going to sit back and look at it, and you will see that it's changed it for you. Okay, it's stupid. It's a time waster, I understand it, but it's also something handy if you do want that in your proper case. All right. So that is... Hey, Book. Sorry, my Scotty.
Can you just show it again quickly?
Okay, so what you're going to do... Oh, look there. I can't even spell American Express. Let's look for some... Let's go do this. I'm going to say right-click, select all. Okay. Although I said all, it's only focusing in the details thing. You can't go and change what QuickTrav has in the account. But let's say I don't like this credit commission. I want it all in uppercase or all in lowercase. Highlight everything by right-clicking and saying selecting all. Got that? Then you're going to go into your batch tools. Now you can either go batch tools here or batch tools there. It's got exactly the same thing. It's going to give you the same result. Then format text in details column. And you're going to decide, do you want it in full prop? In other words, full prop will change every letter of every new word to a capital, or do you want it lowercase, uppercase, or whatever the case? So I'm going to be naughty and I'm going to say, I'm very aggressive today. Everything is in uppercase. Can you see how it changed at the back? Quite nifty and cool, hey? So you don't have to do it. You know, sometimes we type and it's all in lowercase, so something just goes weird. This is cute for those kind of situations. Were you able to follow, Daniel?
Yes, thanks.
Okay. As I said to you, it's not going to change anything. It's just the way it's going to look. Okay. It's all about looks. Okay, so we've done that. We've done that. You can go and delete stuff and then switch it to undelete. I almost want to say, don't do that. Okay. Let's say I want to delete these transactions. I'm going to go say delete, and then I'm going to go into batch tools and I'm going to say switch to undelete mode. When it does that, magic happens. Again, I like magic. It shows you whatever you deleted, and suddenly now it's still there, but it's got lines through. It's got a whole strike through, so you can see exactly what you've deleted and whether you want to delete it or undelete. So let's say I was like, oh my word, I never should have done that. Why the hell did I do it? Now I have to retype it. Babies, you don't have to retype it. All you're going to do is you're going to highlight whatever you deleted, and you're going to go down here and say undelete. And she is back for you. Now, who doesn't like that undelete button, hey? We prayed for years and we got our answers. All right, so please remember, we have got undelete in that stupid, you know, things happen. We get busy and we don't think, and then the next moment we're like, oh my whole, what have I just done? Undelete your friend, ne? Okay. Any questions about capturing? Anything you want to talk about capturing? I'm going to move over to standard journals now, and I want to ask you about standard journals. But any questions about normal capturing? It's not rocket science, I think.
I've got a bit of a question.
Sure.
When you're capturing in your journals, whether it's your cash book, wherever, under details, if you press your space bar, it brings a list of what you captured.
Yes.
So can look OCD normal.
Yeah, it is quite handy. I don't like, yeah, maybe I should show you. Okay, if you press your space, hold on. If you press your space bar, what the system is going to do is going to bring up all the previous times you used 999 and whatever previous times all the entries were for 999. It's cute, but if you have millions of stuff like I have, then it's not cute. Okay. Thanks, Daniel. It's actually a very handy thing for those of you who do want to use it. I'm just too lazy to go scroll up and down. Look how many ADMs I've done. I've clearly done a heck of a lot of stuff to the suspense account for that particular ADM. You can use it. It's a lot of scrolling, though. Do you agree, Daniel, or is there something better?
I do agree, but how do you have to delete it one by one when you don't want to?
No, Daniel, you just don't press space bar.
No, that's for me. But if there is something, then I click and delete.
You can, my darling, but I mean, you're gonna. It's up to you. If you like deleting stuff, then go for it. Go in here and delete it. I just feel I'd rather just type things because the scrolling up and down, especially on huge accounts, for me, you can use the space bar. You just saw it in action now. Go check it out in your own office. You can delete them. I'm not going to even try. I'll just retype. For me, it's easier to just retype. I want to go one step further and say, why are you typing this up? Why are we not importing? And we'll get to importing at another session because I'm going to be like cracking the whip. If you're not importing your bank statements, your audit journals, your BSP journals, and any other stuff. Okay, I'll crack the whip on all of you next week. Okay. Thanks, Daniel, though. I'm sorry. I wasn't aware of
ABMs you have there.
Yes.
Is there any way to delete a whole lot at once, or must you do it one by one?
You must remember when you press that space bar, it's literally going to go into the database.
Yeah.
And it's going to check every single time it was used. The only way for you to get rid of all those options there is to get rid of everything in your journals. Think of it as using it at year end. It's a nice clean thing for the first 2-3 months. I would use the space bar, but if you have volumes coming through on this GL, whatever account, okay, the space bar, although nice, is a pain in the butt because it becomes too long and too cumbersome. So I would use it in the new year for the first 2-3 months, but as volumes come, don't even go play there, guy. Well, you can, but don't phone me to say this thing is wasting my time because I'm just going to say I told you so.
You're now a CD, so that's why I put it
Don't tell yourself the space no longer exists, Daniel. I think rather do that than try and
when you do a provisional year end,
yes,
those details pull through as well, or not?
No, it starts afresh. Because remember, it only has a brought forward balance on the new year. It doesn't have a... Okay, you can see here, I've literally worked this whole year in this particular data set. It's on the 29th of Feb, and that's why it's picking up all this. And this is just my journal batch. Remember, everything else or any other type of transactions that we've captured is also in here. And you can see I've literally used almost every single damn one. Okay, and that's why that space bar has got so many entries, because somewhere in here, Deirdre has used 999 a heck of a lot of times.
Okay, so I understand where it came from.
So sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right, let's say you've been capturing, but you really would like to insert stuff above. Maybe you don't like capturing something here for, let's say, March. March was our first month. I don't want to go and capture it here. I want to capture it right at the top because I just like my order to be in a nice date order. What you can do is you can move to where you want to insert it, and then you can click this nice button here that says insert. You can also use your insert key, and the system will say, listen here, how many lines would you like to insert? Once you type the number and you enter, the system will then go and insert it for you. Okay, which is very, very cute and very, very cool. So inserts are quite nice thing. In the same breath, if you're like, Deirdre, I really don't like all these spaces, remember your shift key will activate what I call a multi-select in the system as well. If you activate your multi-select, then you can go and delete lines. All right, and if you're wondering how I did that, hold your shift in and do your down arrow. Press delete and say yes. All right, so the insert and the delete keys are very cool because they all work together with the actual keys on your keyboard. So they do the exact same function. All right, remember straight from here, you can also do some searches, and this is literally for every single column. So you can go search there. I'm not going to go into details because I can't remember what I want to search for, but you can literally see it's an amount, it's a day, it's a details, it's a period, a reference, anything like that. You can literally go and search. It's exactly the same as all the other programs, and it will go and look in this particular transaction for what you want. Okay, Let's say, for instance, you're now capturing transactions and you're not sure if you put all the stuff to the right accounts. And this is particularly true in bank statements. It could also be true for actual journals, okay? If I want to make sure that, I just want to change this. Sorry, I don't like the view of it. I'm full of nonsense. Deirdre is full of herself today, hey? Let's say I want to sort this in details so that it is in alphabetical order, and I need to make sure that all my intercompany transfers are going to go to this particular GL account. Can you see how nice and easy it is for me to see it? And if I do need to change an account number, I can simply go and do it in year. And it still stays in intercompany, guys, not intercompany, no? Deirdre did intercompany, intercompany. Okay. Please keep in mind you can do those kind of things as well. Please, show of hand. Nushin is saying, what are compulsory journals we have to do every month? Nushin, that is going to depend on your auditor. If he wants you to do some accruals, if he wants you to do some depreciation, that's going to be absolutely up to you. What would they want? That's the question. If you are the auditor, then you can decide what kind of compulsory journals you'll have to have. But it's normally types of accruals. It's generally your, as I said, your depreciation journals. I know a lot of people make provisions on salaries, and I know this year is going to be absolute bust, but I know quite a few companies are basically charging people a little bit extra tax every single month so that when the December bonuses gets paid out, that those per souls don't have to give everything to SARS right away. Those kind of journals is then what I would deem a compulsory journal. But it's really up to your auditor. If anybody has any other nice ideas what compulsory journals you would do over and above the ones I mentioned, help out a fellow sister, please.
What is a bonus?
You could do it as a bonus, yeah. You could do bonus journals, like we said. Okay.
I'm saying, what is a bonus? I haven't seen one for ages.
All right. I'm not going to get into that. Okay, that's your own intercompany story. I'm going to say moving along swiftly right now. All right, let me... Sorry, my babes. Let's quickly talk about standing batches. Do you sometimes go and capture a journal for salaries to one account, but then you need to go and do the quick split? Some of you, or don't you? Yes, Cheryl saying yes. Thank you, Cheryl. No, I don't feel like I'm going to show you nothing. Daniel, oh, you guys are all saying yes now. Ah, you were waiting for somebody to say yes so you could say, I'm also awesome. Okay, all awesome people. Right, I have a standard journal batch in here for my salaries. Okay, now if you're wondering what it is and where to find it, in your ledger setup under your transaction types, you will have, if I can get in, oops, I have passwords everywhere. You should know yours. If you don't, you're going to have to phone us to show you. When you have your transaction batches, and this is not just for journals, this is for anything, can you see in here, okay? You're going to have to decide whether it's a debit or a credit by default, and then very important, if you can have standing batches. Now, what does a standing batch do? It is something you go enter at the beginning of the financial year, where you know the amounts are going to be pretty much the same for the rest of the year. It could be journals, it could be maybe rent, it could be anything like that that you want to have, and that happens every single month. Maybe your debit orders, those kind of things. Now the nice thing is when you have it set up or when you have it done, all you need to do is in standing batch, and this is where we're going to actually do it. Okay, oops, that's a bit big, Deirdre. Try again. Oh, it just wants to do that. Let me just do that. Sorry. Okay, so I have some standing batches under my journals. it'll look like this. So whenever you try and capture, you're going to have a normal batch and you're going to have a standing batch, okay? The standing batch, if you go in, looks like this. And to add stuff to it, you're quite simply just going to type in what you know is going to come in every month. So I'm going to say somewhere, what the hell, insurance. I think that could be a very cool one. Okay, and I'm going to say that is 0908 insurance, and the amount is however much it is. No, there's no VAT. Is there VAT on insurance? My brain's tired. There is VAT on insurance, eh? Short-term insurance? Yes, there's VAT. Guys, sorry, it's been a long week. Oh, okay. And then, of course, whatever 84. Thanks, Nushin. Okay, I was right. I'm starting to doubt myself. I'm like, what the hell have you done, Deirdre? Thanks, Nushin. You're my best buddy, my best pal. All right. You're going to come and create this standing journal in the standing batch, okay? And yes, it's got a reference number, and yes, it has a date right now. But the good news is, once you've captured this, when you go down to the bottom, you're going to find something that says copy to the main batch. And that's exactly what you want to do. When you click copy to main batch, immediately it's going to say, can I change the period for you? And you're going to go and say, yes, please, ticky, and you're going to put in the date. I'm going to make this December just to show you. You can see it's March now. I'm going to change it to December. I'm changing the 30th of March. I'm changing to the 31st of December. I am going to increment my references if I so want to. And I'm going to give it a new starting reference. And I'm going to say 111. No, I'm tired of the triple ones. Let's go into 900s now. What the heck? All right. If you had some blank rows, you could have told the system not to copy them. And if you have any zeros, like I've got loan account interest here for Tom Selleck, yeah, I can tell the system that I don't want to copy those zero amount rows. So it shouldn't now, and we're going to test it, guys. Remember, Tom Selleck has got a zero line there. I click this. It shouldn't now copy it. So let's see if my system is smart enough not to do it. Simply click on OK. And in my journal batch, now who doesn't want standing batches? I don't want to see a yes. If anybody says a yes, I'm going to take your name down and I'm going to phone you and then I'm going to brainwash you. You should be using standard batches. It's really cool and it saves you from capturing all this stuff over and over and over and over again. Pretty cool and nifty now. And did you see? Tommy is nowhere to be seen. Sorry, Tom Selleck, and your nice moustache is gone. Cool, hey? I really like it. Daniel, yes.
As usual. Can you only select certain things in your standard batch? Like say you only want pay as you earn or whatever, first two lines or whatever.
What you can do is, are you guys all watching this? So let's say I only want to copy these, okay, but it's not going to change the date for me, Daniel's son. I can go like this, and I can say edit, copy, and I come in here and I say edit, paste.
Okay.
Problem. It's keeping the same month. So you need to change your dates. Okay, but it can absolutely be done. Just keep in mind that your reference is also the same. Okay. But yes, copy and paste. You can see I can copy from one batch into another, and we're not talking about a standing batch only into a journal. I can come in here and I can go copy from my bank statement batch. So remember, multi-select is shift and down, click your down arrows and select whatever you want. Then go edit, copy. Okay, we don't want journals now. Deirdre, you are doof. This was actually part of my salaries. Okay, guys, pretend we're paying people strips here. You're getting the idea. I can literally go paste. I can copy and paste from anywhere to anywhere. all the time. It is super awesome. It is super cool. Okay, there's no reason for you not to use that copy paste function. You know, sometimes we go and we capture stuff and the wrong stuff. I do it all the time. I'm like, and I especially, sorry for full win main people, mute me for a seckie, especially for us capturing cash books in the GL, that's on Win Lite, okay? And you have more than one account. We go capture in one and then we forget it wasn't supposed to be in here and it was supposed to be in the other one. Use that copy and paste function and then just go delete it from the wrong bank account, okay? Don't let the system, don't recapture, okay? It's not necessary. And if you forget how to do it, you phone me and I'll show you all over again. All right. I kind of think I've exhausted my capturing options for you right now. You obviously have maximum height width. That's just if you want to change your sizes. You can create a new line. I've basically played with the buttons here at the bottom in case you were wondering. All right. You can delete stuff. You can search for stuff. You've seen how I've inserted. Balance is only available, and you can see here, salaries, balance is grayed out. However, balance in here is not. Why? You will only balance cash books, okay, because you're not allowed to write the bank entry. The system has to write it. It's an audit control. So on some batches, you'll find a balance, and on others, you won't. Right. Now, the next button is an age-old debate and a personal preference of whether or not you want to post the batch. Now, nothing stops you from posting a batch right through the month. After every single journal, you can go and you can post it. By all means, we're not stopping you. Just keep in mind, if you've posted it, it cannot be edited. The only way to get rid of it is by doing a journal entry again and reversing the transactions. Now, I'm one of those, and I'm not saying you should listen to me. I'm one of those. I will only post my batches at final year end once everything is audited and the auditor is happy with me. Okay. Bearing in mind, not everybody will have access to the GL. If everybody in your company has access to the GL, huge warning lights immediately. You know, the woo, 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 woo should be going off right now. Only very few people should be working in this GL, and you'll agree with me, this is where we get our financial statements, our income statements, balance sheets, TBs, and that. So not everybody should have access. The amount of people in here that captures should be the very trustworthy ones. I don't like posting. I'll only post at final year end when I've got my audited financials back and the auditor said good to go. Because you know what, inevitably things change during the year. You're welcome to disagree with me. If you do want to disagree with me and maybe give me your good reasons why you think so, you're most welcome to unmute yourself now. I'm definitely not going to fight with you. As I said in the beginning, it's a personal preference. You need to decide whether you want to post these batches or whether you don't want to post them. Okay. Now, the most dangerous button in any of my transaction batches, and every single one has it, is a button here that says delete batch. I'm not sure why you want to delete the whole batch. Obviously somebody asked for it, but guys, this delete batch will literally delete all the lines that you have in that transaction batch. Okay, and yes, we have the undelete option, but don't do it, okay? It does have the option. It will literally delete every single thing. Maybe you had a bookkeeper before and she knew nothing and she was playing here and she was making a whole lot of gemors. Then you want to delete and start afresh, but I'll be very wary of your delete batch. Thankfully, it says to you, are you sure you want to do it? And you have to press that okay. Okay, I would be absolutely dying if there was no okay to confirm that I want to delete. All right. The import button, I'm going to play with you next week. We're going to import bank statements. We're going to import BSP journals. We're going to import audit journals. We are going to have a lot of fun with importing. And I'm going to really say to you guys, there's no reason for you not to import, especially for the light guys. Let's import those bank statements. Yes, there's going to be a few things we're going to have to keep in mind, such as the deposits and the receipts captured in the main, and that we have to get rid of them. But trust me, importing is your new best friend. And you're going to visit me next week, and then you're going to say, this is so cool and awesome, and I'm going to be, yay, it is. All right. Now, the button that is in here is if something looks and feels off, like your batch totals doesn't look good, what you can do is at the bottom, there's a nice button there that says check batch. Now, when you go through check batch, what the system's going to do is it'll read through it, and if you say fix errors, like I've just done here, if there's any errors, and I'm talking about it'll look at the account number, validity, and those kind of things, the system will then try and fix it for you. I don't have any errors. I'm clearly a very good child, hey? Let's see if I can't take that out. Okay, let's see if I can jukes the system. Plus, I'm skipping that one, I'm doing that, and I'm just making gemors. Let's see if my system, if I say check batch, is going to try and do something for me. I'm still saying fix errors. It's obviously not going to fix this error because you can see there, it's really missing an account number. But let's say fix errors and let's say go. And immediately it says to me, hello, your first problem is that line number 141 has got no account code. Can you please go and fix it? Now, if you have gazillions of lines here, it's probably easier just to say open and let it take you straight to where it belongs. Okay, and then you can be like, oh shoot, I never meant to do that. I'm sorry, I'm going to delete the line and sorry for you. Okay, let's run the check batch again. This is your previous one, so keep in mind that you need to run it again. So we're going to go and say go, and now it is fixed. All right, so if you get any errors, come in here, highlight it, click on open, let it take you straight to your problem child, fix the problem child, and you should be cool and good to go. All right. Any questions regarding capturing and the batch tools? Guys, I can't reiterate, these batch tools are super, super important. I like them, they're handy. I would be using them. All right, so that is basically capturing. Hi, Tuana.
Hey, Dee.
Yes, sir.
I would just like to say, as a learner, I'm learning, and thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. That means the world to me. I really appreciate it. I do. Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Deirdre.
Milady.
Sorry, I missed you for just a minute or two.
Okay.
Something happened outside. When you went up in your journals to insert a journal in the couple of months prior,
yeah,
can you renumber your journals? Did I miss anything there?
No, what you can,
sorry.
Yeah, you can't. The system won't know what you want to renumber the journals. What
now,
it can
do you remember that? Because your journals are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example.
Well, you can. You're going to have to just put in an A at the end then, just to know that it's done something. Yeah.
Thank you.
If you can see this, you've got 1, 2, 3, and then 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21, and then it goes on and looks wacky to you. If you don't like this, we can fix this for you by going into your batch tools and telling the system that you want to, it's somewhere in here, there, resequence batch record numbers from 000 to whatever, 1. Okay. And then what it will do is it will start at 1 and it'll fix it for you. So if you don't like all those empty lines or you don't want somebody to see, that it can do, but it can't change your reference, unfortunately.
No, thank you. I was just making sure. Thank you.
It's just in the standing batches, if you're copying from a standing batch into another journal or a bank or whatever it might be, that it will allow you to change that reference. Okay.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much. All right, guys. So I think we've played a lot under transactions, and you've seen I've played in a heck of a lot of transaction batches, and I was doing weird and wonderful, wacky stuff there. There is some handy stuff. Remember, your plus will copy the previous line. Your / will change your sign. So if it was a debit on top, it now becomes a credit. Your little asterisk will increment your reference number. the previous reference number, but it won't change all their reference numbers, just that particular one. All right. No questions? All right. Next thing we're going to play with, inquiries. There's not much you can do about an inquiry. You simply can run it, but you do have control about what you want from it, okay? And this is where my talk about contras that we're going to do in the next session becomes important, because if you have contras activated, your reports will look vastly different. And if you're actually using it, it's no good. It's there by default. It's on by default, but you're not using it. And let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. So under inquiries, we have our trial balance. All right. Cheryl, yours will probably look a bit different because you can run per divisions and branches and all of those kind of things. So if you have extra little buttons, don't freak out. It's good and it's normal. It's just if you are reporting by division, then the system will also cater for you to go and select divisions and those kind of things. Okay, I don't have it on this demo data, and therefore I can't see it. Right. Now, once we've done this, this is basically running it. So you can choose your periods. That is your little copy too. So if you just want to run March to March, that's exactly what you will do. You can then select your accounts, and either clicking the drop down arrow or typing in the code. If you don't like anything and you want to start afresh, then you can do that by just clicking on these X's. And then you have the option of showing your sub-accounts. So if I don't want to see, and you'll see here, if I click my drop-down arrow, it's going to allow me to, you can see I've got 3 accounts for commission received. I've got Quick Drive, Override, and Other. If I don't want to see all these breakdowns, and I just want to see the total balance of 050, which is commission received, okay, I can simply tell the system that I don't want to show my sub-accounts. Sorry, it wants to have a account in there. All right, so I'm telling the system, don't show me my sub-accounts, just give me my main accounts. Let's go do that. And I'm going to run through these. Show null balances. Why would you? Maybe you do want to. Okay, if you want to, show them. If you want to see a single column so that your debits and credits in one column, it's particularly handy if you decide that you're going to export this into Excel and you're starting a whole brand new GL and you want to import, then of course the single column for me is a big thing. Again, it's a personal preference. So once we do this, we can now print it. And let me just open it up. All right, so this is what our printing looks like. I can't edit it. I specified a debit and credit column. So if I had that OK tick there, then it would be in 1. All right, and you can see clearly here, my sub-accounts, it doesn't show me my commission received of 244,000 Rand. It doesn't show me what it's made up of. I don't have any breakdown in here. And you can see it just does not show anything. If I don't like this look, and I say I want to actually see the sub-accounts, now, underneath my sub-accounts, it will give me a breakdown of the commission received. So it just changes the look and feel of what it is. Again, it's personal preference, your choice. If you don't want to see these costs and depreciations and all of that, then yeah, use untick show sub-accounts and the system will do it for you. Now, we can also email stuff from here, so you can email it. You can file it into a PDF format or a QPI format if you want. But I think the best button we've ever had in all of our Windows applications is the Browse button. Why? Because this Browse button, if I right-click in here and I go and say Export the current view, we'll open it in Excel. You know all those audit packs we have to create for the auditors at year end? That's such a pain in the butt. That they're always like, can't you have it in Excel? And we're like, no, we don't want to. No, we can. Right. Remember, browsing and then right-clicking export the current view will actually allow you to get it into Excel. And for some reason, if anybody's very good with Excel, please tell me why why they're doing that. It should be like big and it's baby. So if you're very good with Excel and you're fundy, tell me how to fix that, please. I'll give you 5 million credit points for that. All right. And there it is. So now my TB is in Excel. All right. And I can go straight from here, go and send it off to the auditor, make a change if I do want to do. create management accounts, whatever you want to do in the GL or in Excel then is absolutely up to you. It was my job to show you that browse is very cool. Now browse, being the superhero it is, doesn't just stop there by telling you you can export things into Excel. It actually does other magic stuff too. So now if I want to know who the hell bought some flowers and gifts, and I want to see what exactly is on there, remember, if I right click, I can now tell the system straight in my TB, you can see my TBs in browse, straight here, I can tell the system that I want to open my ledger account. Right click is very, very handy in the GL. And immediately there, it opens it up and it says it was a bank statement entry and we did some client gift boxes. Now from here again, if I want to, and I want to look at the bank statements captured, again here, right clicking, open BSI batch. How cool is that? Huh? So one screen to 3 stuff. Very cool, Daniel. I also think it's like the best thing we ever had. The guys were very good with this. I'm very, very proud. I think it's because I capture, you know, I'm one of you. I have a few bookkeeping clients at Quick. And I'm just like, this makes my life so much easier. So much easier. Now, let's say, for instance, I want to go one step further. I want to look at all the 1,100 amounts. Can you see I right-click on 1,100 and I went down and said, please show me all my 1,100s. Noosh, I'm going to show you again. Because all it is, all I'm really doing, and I really could do that, under my inquiries, I'm going into my trial balance, but I'm browsing. I'm not printing, emailing, or filing. I'm browsing. Okay? Once I've clicked on browse, if I want to see what the actual detail is of a particular account, like I want to see maybe salary or whichever one, okay? If I want to see what it's all about, I'm going to right click with your mouse and go open ledger account 350. And it'll give me all my breakdowns. Jup, 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 jup. Okay. If I then want to see, let's say this is a journal and I'm like, what else was on this journal? Who did this journal? I want to see what this journal is about. I don't have to go transactions, journals now. I can literally right click again and say open in the journal batch. So by right clicking, I was effectively able to open up 3 different screens. Okay. Now, if I don't know what this means, this 42 Rand 50, and I want to see how many times have I charged it before, I can simply go onto the amount, I can right click, and I can go and say, find me all my 42 Rand 50s. Now, keep in mind, it's not just going to look at journal, and it's not just, it's not just going to look at journal, it'll actually look for all 42 Rand 50s in the entire GL. I cannot emphasize the right-clicking functionality in GL enough. It is super cool. It is super awesome. Guys, really, this is like mind-blown. It's like, trust me. Once you get used to that right-clicking and finding, because if you think about it, the moment you right-click, you have access to all these extra tools without you having to open up other transaction screens and going into batches and running other kinds of reports. It'll automatically do it for you, which is absolutely super, super cool. Okay, and it's not just in the trial balance. You can see this is in the journal batch. This is in a general ledger. There's the TB where we started it. Right-clicking is a big, big thing in the GL, and it should aid you. All right. Now, whether you know it or don't, I don't know, I'm going to share it with you, but if you don't like going to go inquiries and then choosing what it is that you want to do, I'm going slow here for a reason. If you like to do an income statement, instead of you clicking there, you can simply press Control and I, income statement, balance sheet, Control B. TB, Control T. My screen is on the wrong one. Let me just try again. There we go. So if it's open, I can go into my balance sheet, my trial balance. I think a ledger is a L. Yes, ledger is a L. Okay, so you can also get shortcuts in here. And in case you're wondering why I'm so clever, I'm not. I just quickly memorized these before I showed you all my nice stuff is. All right. Just to quickly get back to batches, if you decide to post them, you will not find the information under transactions anymore. They will come and lie here in something called a batch listing that's posted. All right, so you will never, if you post anything in here, you will never see those stuff. They will disappear and they'll look like they'll be gone forever. They're not gone forever, they're just under transaction, batch listing, posted, okay? And that's another reason why I don't like it. I like to see everything all the time. But yeah, Deirdre will get off her soapbox now because clearly she has issues. All right. Now in your general ledger, we have a few extra options here. You can see that we can do 1 page per account if we're going to print it. Don't kill trees, but you can. Maybe you'll probably just limit it to a certain range, like maybe, I don't know what, commission only and not the whole TV, because this is the whole TV. You could then have 1 page per accounting. Again, you can do...
For that, your 900.
Oh, see! Not just a pretty face again. Thanks, Daniel. I was wondering why we would do that. And yeah, you just gave me a good one. Thank you. Right, so we would do this 1 page per account if printing. Thanks, Danielson. Again, I appreciate it.
No
All right.
problem.
So exactly as Daniel said, we did 1 page per accounting for VAT. So here's the first one, which is 951, 952, and 954. Clearly we haven't posted anything in 953. Okay, so there you go. Thanks, Daniel. I actually honestly didn't even think about that. Okay, dokes. You can also then decide...
1,000 points.
Million! I give you a million. Okay. You're carrying me today in the training. Thank you. I should make you co-host.
GL's my favorite.
It is. It's mine too, believe it or not. Okay, folks. We also can show account columns and we can show VAT columns. So based on what you select here, your stuffies will change a bit. So guys, I'm sorry, I like browsing. So I could have done print and it would have done the same thing. But here you can see if there's a VAT amount include, it'll show VAT amounts, your debits and your credits. Okay. Obviously on VAT, it's not going to show VAT, will it? No, it can't, because VAT is VAT. So let's try and see if I can change this to show you what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it's going to confuse me and you. Okay, so here you can see immediately at accounting fees, I paid King a total of 1050 and the VAT portion at a quick glance was 157.50. Quite nifty and cool, hey? So you could probably also use this if you are exporting to Excel to see your VAT amounts. All of these, of course, will add back up into your actual 950 account, which will agree to your VAT report. Okay, so it's just another way of you seeing VAT quickly so that you can see how much your VAT is. Right, so now in the GL, I love this option here. Apply contra options, and I really hope I've contraed already. If I haven't, I will show you next week how we do it. If you are going in here and you're going to go to contra transactions and you have, please Deirdre, tell me you did it. Oh, the shock, the horror. Sorry guys, I'm fighting with myself in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Oh, that's not right. There's a contra down here. What the hell? Ah, okay, I'm going to quickly do this. I'll show you next week, I promise. Okay. No, it's this afternoon, isn't it? Contras is this afternoon. You better use contras, guys. I'm coming to hit you with a baseball bat. Now, I really won't, but I mean, it'll be a jelly one, okay? Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, okay, whoever's joining me for contras this afternoon, this is where this just opens up magic for you, okay? Because what you can do, if you are applying your contra options, okay, it can show you the contra reference so that you can see which contras match each other. It's especially handy if you've got queries and you have to sort out crap, okay? And then, of course, I don't worry about a summary at the end of the account. Let me just show it to you now. So now we have this. I'm going to limit this to BS1 because that was what, okay, make it BS4, I think was the account. That's fine. Okay, so let's go and browse. This is what it, Cooks, man. Okay, fine. Just use the same one. It's fine. Deirdre will accept it. If you've used the contra reference in here and it matches 100%, can you see here it says 1C and 1C? Those matches 100%. If I come into my ledger and I say apply my contra options, and I go one step further and I say hide fully contraed transactions, it will hide the transactions that's already contraed. It's a very good aid to help you with your credit. Sorry, Winmain Full, it's boring you now. Your creditors. This is a very quick way of you getting your creditors and your problem children on your creditors out by applying your contra options. Obviously, you have to go do them, and then hiding the fully contra transactions, because you literally left with the problem children like I am right here. If I didn't have any of these activated, it would have looked a bit different because again you would see more info. Okay, contrast to me is probably the best function, especially if you're on Winlight, to make sure that your creditors are A-OK and it's used as an aid for your recons. Please, if you can, use contra options. I'll go into greater detail in apparently 45 minutes. I better start wrapping this up then. Hey, all right. What other stuff do we have? We have income statements. And here underneath your income statements, again, as I said, share, you will see divisions and branches where you can go and break it down. If you do use multiple divisions, you can come through here and you can go and say, I only want to look at a certain division. I only want to look at a certain stuff. Do I want to see rand, cents, those kind of things. All right, and this is purely just reporting if you think about it. If you have your creditors, you will find your creditors age analysis here, as well as your creditors ledger. And again, creditors ledger again has contra options, which we will discuss a bit later this afternoon. But it's really just you deciding how you want to print the reports and what do you want to see in them. All right, and again, even if it opens up like this and you want to see more information, you can go and right click and tell the system that you want to see it in a batch, or you want to see all their 1940s. The right clicking in any of my stuff is absolutely awesome. Now the last thing I want to show you, because these are really just reports, is the transaction search. And guys, this thing is a super awesome little tool. Now, if you go and search, you don't have to complete all of this info. If you are looking for something in a specific period, then obviously you'll put in the period. But let's say I want to look for something with an amount of 42.50 Rand. Okay, or I think it was 42.50 Rand. It might have been a bit more. I can come in here and I can do a search by amount, and here in the plus minus I can say, listen, I want a variance of up to $5. Now what this will do for you is it's going to look for anything from 37 Rand odd Rand, 37.50, right up to 49 Rand. So if you can't remember, you know there was a something, but you can't remember exactly what that amount was, but it was somewhere around about there. If you go in there, the system will show you all the possible matches for the 42 Rand with a 5 Rand variance. Okay. In the same breath, if you like, man, I know somebody posted something, and she called it client lunch, and you know, we get these weird things. I'm making things up, but you know exactly what I'm talking about because you are experiencing it very often. If not monthly, you're experiencing this. You know, there was a stupid reference where it said something like a client lunch. I mean, who the hell would put in a client lunch? At least put the client's name in there. Okay? But I did it and I can't remember why. So now let me see if I can find a client lunch. Holy hell! There's all my client lunches. I've got 9 client lunches. I didn't say who it was for. I can now go and say, listen here, Cookie. It seems like you're taking the boyfriend out because why is there so many lunches and no people's names? Okay. I'm just trying to show you what it can do. I'm not really going to go fight with you ever because this was me capturing it. Okay, I was making up nonsense. Okay, and only one at VAT. Look, did you see? Only one at VAT. So there's another question there. Should it have VAT or shouldn't it? I'm not going to get into that. Okay. What if you had a reference? I had a reference and it was 11111 something. Oh my word. Your transaction search is cool. It's awesome. It's wonderful. Use it. Okay, and you can see I'm typing up any nonsense here and the system is finding it for me. It's a really, really very cool tool. Now it can be cool, but it can be absolutely awesome. So now your auditor is saying to you, I want to know how many times have you supported macro? You don't, you can do it in amounts as well. I'm just out of ideas now. Okay, I want to know, okay, let's take the 42.50 Rand. I hope I've got previous year's data on here. If I don't, you're going to have to go play with it at home. Okay, the auditors now, so how many times have, or maybe your auditor, you've paid your auditor. How many times have I paid auditing fees? Let's do this. I'm going to say accounting. Shame, my poor little auditor is running through today. I want to know for the past 5 years, how much money have I spent on accounting fees? You see this nice thingy key here that says number of prior years to include? Ha! Guys, put in the 5 because it's for the past 5 years and tell the system to apply it. And it's going through all your previous GL years, every single one, without you having to capture it, right? And it's going to give you the answers. Look, all the way back from 2014. Now, if this is not the best tool ever, I don't know. Okay, so you don't have to go into every year and say, show me accounting, okay, transaction, no, inquiry GL 110, okay, inquiry GL 110, no, transaction search. There it is, done, boom, over. Okay, mic drop. Good. Right, any other questions? Because I'm basically done now. It is awesome, Cheryl. I think if we play with it enough, it becomes really awesome. It is such a powerful tool. It can really work. Yes, Daniel's son.
Does the transaction search for creditors and debtors as well?
Yeah, you're just going to, it's 800 ES1.
Okay.
5 years, apply. Browse.
Cool.
Clearly, I've only used BSB since 2018 and my auditor has been with me since 2014, but you can see. There we go. All right. It is so cool, guys. Use it, use it, use it. I love it. It should be your new bestest friend. Okay. Any questions? Anything that you feel the system should be doing that it's not doing? Maybe I just didn't cover it this morning. Anybody want to ask anything?
No, thanks. All good. Thank you, Deirdre.
In that case, I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee and some vitamin C. It feels like I'm getting the flu. It sounds like I'm getting the flu. Have yourselves a lovely morning. For those of you who's joining me for Contras, guys, I love the full win main people, but the Contras, although it's more applicable to creditors, it's for every GL account. If you are joining me and I am playing with creditors more, it's not because I don't love you. It's just creditors normally have more transactions for me to play with. Okay, but it will apply to any GL account. I'll see all of you then at 12. Take care, everybody. Thanks for joining.